What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video we'll be talking about two different cryptos, Zora and KTA. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. Zora will be the first token we talk about. We'll do some analysis in depth on this, and then we'll zoom out and we'll do some KTA as well. All right, hit that like button. Let's get started. It is the third day of November. We have about 9 hours and 16 minutes left in this day. 6.3 cents is the price. And from the low on the 30th of September to the high on the 10th of October, we have pulled all the way back down to our golden ratio zone. Perfect. Perfect area. We are expecting that you find support in this area. I was thinking that you'd find support at the 0.5 originally, but after like 2 days ago, whenever we closed below the 0.5 there, we really did start to assume. We started to get very friendly with the idea that we do go to this golden ratio zone. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, and again, we were telling you guys, don't go chasing up here, right? This is probably not a good. It probably will pull back. There was a moment where we had a little bit of hope, and then the next couple of days came by. We're like, nope, that hope is gone. We're going to come down. Looking at the 1 hour time frame here, zooming in a little bit. A lack in volume, right? Volume is decaying as we're moving lower. That's good to see. We are kind of consolidating here, to be fair, so we could push a little bit lower still, even with this. If we're looking at the 1 hour time frame here, you do have, is it bullish divergence? Would we call it bullish divergence? I want to, right? Like three lows at the exact same level versus higher lows. It's got to be some kind of bullish divergence. Bullish divergence on the RSI, maybe on the MACD as well. Maybe, but we could go lower. I'm not really counting on this. It's odd. It's because we're moving sideways. I'm not really getting a vibe off of these indicators other than bearishness, right? And probably a weakening bearishness as well, I might add. So very near the low, but we could go lower. 4 hour time frame here. Looking at the RSI, we do have bullish divergence there. Very nice bullish divergence actually. Low here, higher low there, right? Low, higher low, or lower low there. Bullish divergence on the MACD as well on the 4 hour time frame. Stochastics looks sad. This bullish divergence on the MACD could go away if we build further down. Curious to see what happens here. I'm not getting too much off the 4 hour and the 1 hour time frame. Maybe if we zoom out a little bit more, let me just see. You just look bearish. I mean, you look like you want to reverse. You do look like you want to reverse, right? You have a downtrend. You got bullish divergence. You're in the oversold zone. I would think you want to reverse. You're at a point of which you do want to find support. The RSI, I think it's painting a clear picture. The stochastics, not so much, just bearish. In the MACD, it was showing signs of reversal here, but the fact that you're building bearish momentum again here makes me think you could go a little bit lower. So let's just run with that idea, okay? From a low to a high here. If you were to go lower, you could go down to about 5.8 cents, and that's fine. I mean, you could go lower than that even, and you're still fine. I just don't think that you're going to go that low. You could find support right here, but being that this is the golden ratio, the fact that you've been here now for about a day, just consolidating right at this level, I think if you were to find support, you would have done so already. So maybe you get one more stab down, and then you move up higher. But Zora, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, I think it's at a prime area to buy. If your question is, should I buy here or should I wait? I don't think the waiting is worth it. Like what, maybe a 5% difference, maybe, but probably it's probably best, I think, to just get in right here. I think that it looks like it wants to recover. It's probably going to move up higher, right? The unlocks, the token unlocks that happened on the 30th of October are days past now. We've sold off because of that. I think now it's time to move up, right? We've probably gotten all that selling pressure out of the way. Looks like we want to move higher. That'd be my thought. Daily time frame, the MACD is right at an area to find support. The stochastics are literally at 0, and the RSI is right at the oversold zone, just below actually where we were before when we found our last low. So we did it before. I'd like to do it again. Okay, we've actually been pretty good with Zora here, calling the low here, calling the highs here. Every single time we were calling for these to be highs. I'd like to call for the low here as well at about 6.3 cents. Could we go lower? Yes. 5.8 cents, I think, is a possibility from the current price. 5.8 cents is, it's about a 8% drop. So if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong by 8%. But if I'm right, and I think I will be right, the pump that should take place after this should be somewhere on the lines of like a 50% to an 80% pump and beyond. Yeah. And it could happen, I mean, just the way that this thing moves, man, it could happen in a day. We could literally see another day where Zora here was up 46%. And this next day was up another 46% at its high. We could literally see a day where it's up 50%, 60%, 80%. In a week from now, we could be all the way up at new all-time highs. ultimately, I do think that what Zora is doing here is we're breaking out of this consolidation phase. We've moved up. We're finding a higher low, and then we're ready to break out to new all-time highs. That's what's happening here. Looking at the daily time frame again, the RSI right at the same area we bounced from before. Stochastics are at 0, and the MACD is right here at the 0 where we like to bounce from, actually. So I would expect that we do bounce. And I say we like to bounce from here. To be fair, I think Zora's it's just got such a short history. You've never actually bounced off your 0. Typically in a MACD, you look to bounce off the 0, though, in moments like this especially. We zoom out to the 3-day, similar areas that we found support before. The MACD looks fine. The stochastics look fine. To be fair, the 3-day stochastics might suggest that we do go a little bit lower. So again, that 5.8 cent area is a possibility. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was between here, 6.3 cents, or a little bit below 6 cents that we found support somewhere in this zone. And when we do start to move up higher from a high here to a low there, the expectation is that we go all the way up to about 21 cents to 32 cents by the end of November. Okay, somewhere at 21 to 32 cents by the end of November. That is a 3.3 to 5.2x. Okay, 3.3 to a 5.2x, somewhere in this zone by the end of the month, if not higher. If not higher, right? That's the key point there. So, looking good for Zora. Let's move on and talk about KTA now. KTA, Kita the cheetah. Kita. Yeah, the stocks are coming down. It's kind of interesting that Bitcoin's actually moving up into the stock market open. I mean, the stock market opened upwards, but it's been moving down since, and Bitcoin's actually been moving up while the stock market's been moving down since. Really, we're just neutral, though. We're not really doing a whole lot, are we? Looking at the KTA chart here on a daily time frame, a bit of a disappointing reaction. That's the first thought that comes to my head. It's a very disappointing reaction. I'll go over why real quick, and then we'll get into the TA. First, from a low to a high here. Perfect reaction off the golden ratio. Perfect reaction. Literally everything. To yesterday's close, everything. And then today, just totally ate back that momentum entirely. I mean, this is discouraging. It's definitely discouraging. I want to say before we go forward, I very much think we're going to go higher. I very much think we're going to see new all-time highs. I think that KTA at 38 cents is a steal. You're lucky to be buying here. But still, it's a bit disappointing of a reaction off the golden ratio. Not just the golden ratio, but on the 4-hour time frame, we had some bullish momentum being built. We had beautiful, very beautiful bullish divergence. We even had some green come in at the lows here. We had the best reaction, man. We gave it all up. We had the perfect setup. This is the second setup like this. This again that I've seen today that did not provide for us, that failed us, really, right? It did move up. Technically, we did, it did have a reaction from a low point here to a high point there. You did have a 13% move, which is nice. It is nice, don't get me wrong. In crypto, we're so greedy, we're so used to bigger numbers that 13% doesn't impress, but 13% in a day is great. That's great. If you do 13% every day, you're going to be fine, I promise you. But 38.7 cents right now, 1 hour and 8 minutes left in the day. I can't help but think that we're going to go a little bit lower, right? I want to look at the 1 hour time frame, zoom back out, and then we'll just see how that goes, right? Bearish engulfing candle on what should have been a nice breakout move here, and inevitably prevailed to be a lower high and an overall downward sloping move. So let's look at the 1 hour time frame. We'll zoom out from there. I haven't sold any KTA. I very much am expecting that it moves higher. We're just waiting patiently, okay? 1 hour time frame. The RSI, actually, okay, the RSI looks good. Look at that. You guys see that structure? That suggests that we are at a low point, actually. That's nice. Wow. That is actually nice. Hey, that's pretty good. Could we be finding support here? I think we could. Interesting thought. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me get this low to high here. I wasn't expecting that. You broke all the way down through. Yeah, it's kind of ugly, but you could find support there. If you don't find support, let's talk about that. If you don't find support here from a low to a high, you likely then would go to 36.3 to let's even say as low as 30.6 cents. Okay, something 36 to 30 cents. I doubt we break below 30 cents though. Okay, so there's at least that. We likely don't go below October 17th's price. Okay, we likely, that low likely does prevail. Okay. I'm not convinced that we go lower just yet, though. This RSI, this looks actually really nice. Okay, what I will say, though, is typically upward sloping trends do end once you're in the overbought zone with bearish divergence, and we do have that. But, man, it's kind of crazy. You have an upward sloping trend here, and you're still maintaining it coming all the way down to the oversold zone. It's wild. And if this does prevail, you guys, this next attempt into the overbought zone would be a bigger move, a much bigger. That was 13%. We would see something that's like 26% or more on this next move. That'd be great. What would that be from a low to a high? I mean, that could take us back up to like 46 to 50 cents. That actually, that wouldn't be bad. 46, 48, 50 cents, somewhere in that range, that wouldn't be bad. Or higher. We absolutely could move higher. The MACD is at an area to bounce as well right here. I like the trajectory, higher lows right up here, right? We've got this kind of trajectory there. It's not bad on the oscillators. We are right around the zero, an area to bounce as well. You could move lower, but I mean, the stochastics are actually pointed upwards. I don't know, man. I think that we are going to find support here. If not, again, we could go a little bit lower, 36 to 30 cents, somewhere in that range, but I doubt we go too much lower than that. 4-hour time frame here. Low to high. Golden ratio, 0.5382 zone down here. If we weren't looking at anything else, if I didn't look at anything else, I was just looking at this, I would be calling for prices that are below 37.4 cents, potentially to 35 cents, somewhere in this zone, and if not there, 32 to 29 cents, 30 cents basically, 32 to 30 cents. So again, that 36 to 30 cent area coming up, but it would be more specifically here. It's either that we do find support between about 37.4 to 35.5 cents, or somewhere between 32.5 to 30 cents itself, somewhere in those two zones there. So if we find support just barely below this low, great. If not, we're going to go closer to these lows here and probably find support where those lows are down there. And if that happens, just looking at this here, I would assume that happens probably over the coming days, right? It's the 3rd now. That would happen probably by the 7th, by the end of this week, and then we'll move up higher from there. Fully expecting that we do move higher. Again, I want to just say it very clearly. Moving lower from here should not concern you. I mean, it's not fun. It's not, if let's say you bought the top and it's all the way down here, that's not fun. That's never fun. But if you just wait, it'll come back. It really will come back. It's not concerning going lower from here as far as the overall recovery process goes. All right. But if we want it to be now, really what we need to see is just prices above this. We need to get above, we get above 42.6 cents and we are moving higher. Absolutely we are. I'm under the impression, if you're wondering what my call is, because I haven't really been too descriptive in that, I guess, or what's the word, transparent with that yet. I am thinking we have a low here. I am. I'm really coming around to that idea. Stochastics bouncing right off the oversold zone. I like it. The RSI actually looks productive on the 4-hour time frame. You actually look good here for a bounce off the 42. I like it. And the MACD building bullish momentum. You know, you've been building bullish momentum for a second. You had that bullish divergence and you kind of gave it up, but you're still at a point where really any day now you could cross above the zero. And if you do that, I mean, boom, the last time we did that, look at what happened. You rallied. And again, keep in mind, for whatever reason, this is something that we've noticed. I don't know if this is a rule or what, but we've noticed it here, is that on the 4-hour time frame, for whatever reason it is, as soon as you cross above the zero on your MACD, okay, that's when you consolidate for about a day. And then you rally. And then you rally afterwards, right? You might rally into this, right? Rally into that cross. But then as soon as the cross happens, we consolidate and for about a day or two, and then we rally again. So just understand, you know, it could be as early as like the 8th or the 9th that we are above this high here, just so that we're aware. Or earlier, you never know. Just because you cross above the zero doesn't mean that you have to consolidate, but we've noticed it on the 4-hour time frame that typically when the MACD crosses above the zero for whatever reason, we do consolidate for about a day or 3, somewhere in that kind of time frame there. Looking positive overall. You really do look positive overall. So that's actually, I have to admit, this is better than I thought it would be whenever I first started this segment of the video. Looking at the daily RSI, we're bouncing off the 40, bouncing off these prior resistance points here. Overall, in a kind of lower low, lower high transitioning phase here. Hopefully we can transition out of that and get a higher low, higher high kind of formation going on. Stochastics in the oversold zone, MACD looking to touch, looking to build. Hey, we got yesterday to close with a green pip there. So hopefully today then, the idea would be that we do build from this. We don't want to diminish. We don't want to build and then diminish. We want to keep building. So today, you're down about 8.5% on the day. Can we come back up and close the day green? Can we come back up? We got 9 hours left. Can we come back up and close the day green? Or at least, I don't know, if we closed it barely red, would we still be building on this? I don't know. Whatever price level it would be, whatever the price level would be necessary to build momentum here on the daily MACD. If we can do that, I think that'd be really good. If not, it's not a detriment. It's just it would look better that way. So overall, we are expecting good things from KTA. Overall, regardless of the short-term stuff, maybe we go a little bit lower. Maybe we go as low as 30 cents, right? That's the lowest that we could forecast. 36 cents, somewhere in that range, right? If we are to go lower. But I am calling for the low here. When we do move higher, whenever that is, we should be seeing a move that takes us all the way up to about 251 and beyond. 251 to 458. 458 is all the way up here at about a 11 to 12x move. 251 is about a 6.4x move, and we could see this zone happen genuinely by the end of November. I don't know if we'll be all the way up at 458 by the end of November, but I do think that we could be. We could be up there. We could be higher. You never know. Crazy things happen. I mean, this thing in its past, we don't have its all-time history, right? It has a whole history before this. It can move up fast if it wants to. It absolutely can. But I would think by the end of November, we're probably closer to this $1.56 to $2.50 area, something in this zone. Maybe we were reaching for the 1272, but we just haven't quite hit it yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if we were at new all-time highs, or at least new relevant highs to this. Maybe not new all-time highs altogether, but going into the end of the month, we should be seeing some life, some vibrance. That's my expectation. Whether we get a little tight up here, a little tight up there, whatever it might be, I would expect that we're at new all-time highs, pushing for 250 and beyond going into the end of November. I don't have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said it all. If you guys like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.